why they should successfully fight the premature aging process. You've got to get people back to themselves so they know what they're about. Do you follow that? And so that's it. Its invisible nano-elements also collect ionic energy at a high level according to greater nerves. So what's more important than food? What? 3 or 4 days, you're dead. You don't have water. You can go months without food. And guess what? The study I'm doing with the University of California to disprove genetics, we're not going to say at the end, eat the Hippocrates diet. It's not an advertising piece. We're going to say, eat less of high-density nutrients. Because ever since 1934, there's now been 2,674 studies that all said the same thing. People live longer and have less disease if they eat less food. So this whole concept that you and I grew up with, even the health food concept, is completely wrong. Why we eat too much, and I look back why I was an overeater. No, I wasn't taking alcohol, the drug, or other drugs. I was smart enough not to do that. My drug was food. My drug was ice cream, candy, cake, meat. That was my drug. And I sedated myself and reduced oxygen loads in my body so my brain wasn't functioning. I was in a semi-stupor and cross-circuited my brain by putting sugars in. Do you follow that? That's why we do it. Not because we like overeating. We don't like ourselves, so we overeat. If you really don't like yourself, you stop eating. It's like having a big sign over your head as an anorexic and say, look at me, how much I hate myself. There's a bulimic. Look at me, I'll throw off everything I eat because I don't deserve it. You get nervous. We have 3 million people in this country with food disorders like that today. And even the Disease Control Center tells you 80% of all cancers come from food. I'll bump it up a little bit. But what do you think most of those chemicals I talked about come from? Food. Or the non-food that you think is food that you're shoving down your throat. So water is very important. Human body, how about oxygen? Oxygen is essential for all life. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You don't have oxygen, what happens? Go brain dead. So even more important than water, the most important nourishment is oxygen. Then you put water, which is mostly what? Oxygen. How many of you realize that under normal conditions, if you're drinking adequate amounts of pure water and juice, you get 2/3 of your oxygen from water and juice, not from breathing? How many of you know? 2/3 of our oxygen comes from water consumption, not from breathing. Isn't that amazing? People don't realize that. 60% of the population in this country are dehydrated. Many of you who have ever been dehydrated, you start to hallucinate. You die if you dehydrate long enough. Why? Because you cut off oxygen from water to your brain, you die. You go brain dead. And it's a horrible thing. Digestion ultimately occurs in the cell. Now, let's take a trip inside of the cell. Now, cells come into the liver, and up the top you see white blood cells cleaving. These are blood plasma in millions of cells. Now you see different forms of immune system cells. Basophils, eosinophils, neutrocytes here. All having a different job. Some for bacteria, some for virus, some for parasite, eosinophils. Now you're going to see the brilliance of the immune system. It becomes like a fish net and is collecting bacteria. And this is actually occurring in every one of our bodies as we sit here now. The nerves in the body. In one of our bodies we have enough nerve to go around the planet a number of times. And that's how the electric moves through your system. The white you see on that is a phosphorus sheets. Now watch after it's done its job, the white blood cell comes and disassembles it so that new can start to develop again. Look at the ventricle, the vein. The blood moves carries cells from all of the organs. Take the dead ones away and rebuild the organs notice we started with the universe, and inside of your body looks just like the universe. Because we are all symbiotically interrelated. This is amazing. It comes up in harpoons. It goes into a circle like a necklace. And as you see, the white blood cells start to come on it. And they're going to go out and lasso viruses down. Shut our brains off and let this all just happen. There's a bacteria being carried out by a leukocyte, a white blood cell, going right there through the liver. Look at how it mounts itself there, so it can clean. This level of intelligence is so sophisticated, it's hard to keep up with. That's plasma. You have probably there 100 to 150 million cells. Another shot. And the last, look at this. This is actually fungus being carried out. These are like used vacuum cleaner bags, ready to be perspired or feces or urinated out of the system. Look at this, isn't that great? This is like a volcano of new immune system cells. And then this is, I always call this the Russian ballet. This is just brilliant. Watch how they come together just like dancers. They're preparing now to go out and collect bacteria. Watch this white blood cell as it gets closer, it's more and more filthy. And that little pocket is picking up a whole lot of waste. And watch as it spills over how much more dirt is in there. See that? It's about ready to be thrown out of the system now. Let's give nature and God a giant hand.
AGEs are formed through two.
I'm going to show you the latest in biological sciences. There's about 10% of us in medicine today that know this. We started 57 years ago yelling at people about proteins and sugars. Proteins and sugars. But now they're called AGEs. And we understand if we eliminate the psychological reasons and all the other things we spoke about, the biological reasons we're ending up with diseases is these proteins and starches, or proteins and sugars, I should say, coming together. Now, if you watch them, they bond together here. We only knew back in 1954 about free radicals. We're going to see them in a minute. A free radical was discovered by Dr. Harmon at the University of Nebraska. And he rightfully said that all premature aging and all diseases, be it diabetes or cancer, comes from free radical damage. So these are free radicals now coming because when the proteins and the sugars come together, and that could be too many almonds and agave syrup, of course, it's also meat that we're talking about and white sugar, but even things that you wouldn't suspect. It not only damages the anatomy, but it damages the chromosomes. So again, 95% of why you get genetically affected is because of what you're presently doing. Here's a typical young woman who goes out and she shops at the whole wallet market, comes up with her BMW there, walks around with her high heels, gets all the health foods that she thinks. But these health foods aren't really that healthy. We have a class in Hippocrates where we show 85% of the good health store is not healthy. And she ends up with diabetes because of this, which is the fastest growing disease today. Ventricle problems and collapses. Angina or worse, heart attacks. What we call stage 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease. And we start to destroy the kidney. It used to be very rare I'd see kidney disorders. It was really with people who overconsumed meats and sugars. Now I'm seeing 20 and 30-year-old kids all the time. And one of the biggest groups are the bodybuilders on this ungodly whey and soy protein. That stuff is a killer. What happens, it gets into the tissue and starts starts to destroy the organs of the body, as you see right there, and it's free radicals that are doing this. Up at the top, you have platelets, which are getting thicker and thicker. Now we have 3% of the population that have to go to a doctor's office or a hospital monthly to get bled out. And you destroy this very volatile and very vulnerable organ, the kidney, that's water-based and needs to take acidity and balance it in your body and create alkalinity. But because you have all these proteins and sugars, it just destroys that very paper-thin organ system in the body. Now, about 2 months ago, I had the privilege to learn about the next thing you're going to see, and I ordered one, but it's not permitted to be in the United States. We'll explain it in a minute. So these AGEs start to destroy you, and in Germany, they figured out how to pick up the electromagnetic frequencies of disorders. So they know the frequency is an example of cancer, which type of cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, etc. And they've now put that into a computer program, into a microscope, and they have a unit that's very inexpensive and more effective than any diagnostic tool we have on the planet Earth today. You went to the best hospital, Shands here. They have nothing that rivals what we're now going to show you and talk about. And the organ systems, as they go down, are starting to have these problems manifest inside of them. That's the unit. It's $10,000. You put your arm on it, and we're going to show you in a minute how it works. The only country that can use it now is a country of origin, Germany. No other countries allowing it to come in. Why? This would revolutionize medicine. We not only can monitor you in a matter of minutes, we can tell you what disease in what part of your body you're going to have 10 years before it manifests. And how it does it, it picks up the frequency of the disorder where it's lodged, what organ system. If you look at the unit, it's all picking up biofrequencies, electromagnetics. And each of those come up with the different light frequencies. So each light has a different vibration, and from those different vibrations, different colors, it comes down through the microscope, and it measures instantaneously on the computer program. So we say, here's the organ it's hitting, the level of the organ's being hit, and if it's going to happen this year, next year, or 10 years. This is where we really are in biofrequency medicine today. And unfortunately, it's being suppressed. We have a machine at Hippocrates now that in 3 minutes, we can tell you more about the heart than they can right here at the cardiovascular center at Shanghai. 3 minutes. We can tell you not only what's going on with your heart in the ventricle area, but we can also tell you what chronological and biological age your heart is. And from this, we're gleaning a lot of research, which is interesting. People who took chemo and radiation, 10 to 20 years older hearts than the average person. People on certain medications, we're just beginning this, we're starting to now determine, and I'll write something about this in 4 or 5 years, just learning. I'm a neophyte at this stage. I'm going to tell you what medication destroys the heart most effectively. And that's what that tool is doing for us. Your cells are who you are. And it's the energy in your cell that is really who you are, the biological part of your cell. The cell is oxygen, water, protein, vitamins, minerals, and the fuel, the jet fuel, is essential fatty acids. And if we don't have all those biological structures, we can't carry the what? The electromagnetic frequency. Your cells are these elements with their varied frequencies are attracted to the magnetic energy of the cell. This allows building and life-maintaining process. It also expels exhausted and used matter from the cell. So if the food is not alive, how is it going to be digested into the cell? If you see a dead body, do you want to hug it? Now just listen clearly to what I'm saying. Are you repulsed by something dead? Of course. And there's a reason for that. It's an absence of magnetic field. It's sucking in rather than getting out. What you're attracted to is vibration.